Good morning, afternoon, and night, everyone. I am your host, PhDPS, and welcome to the Wynncraft Economy Update Hero Beta, though. This isn't the real update yet. So today I just wanted to come on and give everyone a little inside knowledge, just so that you have a head start when the update really does come out. So you can get snapping on all these crafting recipes and stuff. So basically what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to show you some really good ways to farm the materials you're going to need to, get your crafting higher level. So first off, we're going to start with fishing, and the best place to get the little guddians, I'm not really sure what they're called, the level 1 fish is right outside of Ragni, right of the Emerald Trail. You got a whole bunch of batch of them right here. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then another one over there, 11. You've got like 11 little guddians right here that you can just get, and they do respawn pretty quickly. I will say the respawn times are nice. They're really nice, in fact, especially for it being client-side, so you don't have to worry about other people stealing your stuff. You can farm up really fast, get your oil, get your fish meat, whatever you need, so you can get better crafting. Now, the fish, I believe, are used for jeweling. Their oil is used for jeweling. They're used for scribing, I believe. Their oil is used for scribing. Their meat is used for cooking. And I think that's all they're really used for. Now that I think about it, the fish are actually really useful, especially for jeweling. Jeweling's going to be big, I feel. Because a lot of the rings and stuff we get aren't too great. And the ingredients that we can put are awesome. So the next spot I'm going to show you for trout is right next to Deathless this time. This is, I believe, on the front side of Deathless entering through the Emerald Trail, and this is for trout. So you just come up here. Well, here's what I do. This is my best spot for me. What I do is I get this trout up here, right? I run down here, I take a circle all the way around, get all these trout, then I come over here and get all the, I believe, wheat and barley? Or is it barley that's over here? Yeah. But this is what I use for trout farming. And it's pretty nice. There's, I believe, 6 to 7 little spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little spots. No, 7. Including the one up there, that's 7. Zombies will from time to time come and annoy you. But they shouldn't be that big of a deal. They're just level 10. And yeah, this is a really good spot for the trout. Just a quick note, here's another good area for trout. This is right outside of the Nivla Woods. And there's just like 6 or 7 here, and you can get them all pretty easily. So the next spot is going to be for salmon, which is the level 20 fish, and that is right outside of Nemract. You can see Nemract is right over there, and it's just along this coast near the Saints Row area. A lot of fish, super easy to circle back on. It starts right here. Hello? You can see there's one salmon here, and then it literally just keeps going. You can see them littered all over the place, all the way up until about here. Which the last salmon being right here. And this is a really good spot for the salmon, just because you can kind of walk in a line, wait a little bit over there, walk back in the line, wait a little bit here, or you can just walk back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth, and just get a ton of salmon. This is the spot that I prefer the best. Now, I haven't reached level 30 for fishing, so I don't know where the best place to get carp is, but I'm gonna look for approximations. Now, I haven't completely looked all through Mailloux, and I've been to Rhymek a little bit, so I'm not really completely sure where the best carp spaces are to farm them, but I know that around in the desert and around in Rhymek, the Mesa, there's going to be a couple of ponds, just bodies of water, and usually there's like 5 to 6 carp in every little pool. You can farm those pretty quickly, and it shouldn't be that bad. You can even see that there's some carp swimming around here in the Mailloux pond. So there you have it. And I'm pretty sure there's some in the pond behind us too. Oh no, it looks like there's some salmon here actually. It's a good little mix of fish to get. So now on to wheat farming, or I guess just farming in general. Farming is going to be pretty simple. The basic rule for farming, I'm going to give you some certain spots that's going to be good for farming wheat. But what I want you to know is that pretty much any field has tons of wheat, barley, oats, just all inside of it, littered inside of it. Best place for wheat, I mean, Is it even really a question at this point? For me, it's gotta be the Katoa Ranch. Katoa Ranch has these little wheat fields sprung with a ton of wheat across it, and you could just circle around. Here, I'll show you what I like to do. What I like to do is just go this way, circle around the entire place, getting all the wheat. There's some barley, but mostly wheat. And then just circling back once again, and it should respawn by that time. The next spot, which is for barley, is right where the trout pond is, like I said when I talked about the trout. This is wheat. Don't mind that. That's the only wheat in this patch. You can just get a couple barley. There's like 5 or 6 here. Run back up this mountain, get the trout, get the rest of the trout, come back, and then the barley will have been respawned. This is my spot, because I like to do it where I double down on 2 materials, but there are probably far better spots. I just haven't really paid attention to them since I'm past barley already. Again, like I said earlier, the spots that would be best for something like barley would most likely be any little area where you could find wheat, like even right here where these sheep spawn. This is just a bunch of wheat here that you could farm while killing some sheep for their wool. Now, the next material we're going to go for, which is the level 20 farming resource, is oats. And oats will only be past the end of Deathless, so towards Mailloux is where you're going to want to start looking. Okay, so I haven't been completely understanding where to find oats because I haven't been farming them much. But right now, I'm at the top of the little mountain right outside of Bremengar, or whatever it's called, Bremengar. And there are a couple of oat spawns here, more than anywhere else that I've found so far. So this would be the place to farm them. You can see the coordinates on my little thing as well, in case you really need it. This is right outside the lion's den. So yeah, this is where you would farm for your oats. So next, we are going to work our way to woodcutting. And woodcutting is really, really easy. Like, it is super simple. And the reason that it's so simple is because you can just grab an axe and literally just ride on a horse and go chopping. Super, super easy. Anywhere with a good concentration of trees is where you're going to find the wood that you're looking for. Which I am going to show you these areas, just so that you have an idea. So I don't think I really have to tell you where the best place to get oak wood is, but I'm going to show you anyways. Drumroll, lo and behold, it is Nivla Forest. Are you surprised? Well, you shouldn't be. Just look, hello? Just look how fast I can get all this wood riding around on my horse. These trees are everywhere. It's just such a dense forestation. You could ride around getting tons of wood super easily. Of course, I have better wood cutting, so it's going to take you longer to cut these trees down, but still, it's a great place for wood farming. Next up is birchwood, which is littered right past the Nivla Forest, actually. It's just littered all the way up to Deathless. Like, this whole little strip is where I usually farm. They are kind of separated and far apart, but it's still the best area to get them. So what you're going to want to do is just grab your axe and start chopping. You can see all these birch trees are everywhere. And right up to about the Deathless Gate is where these birch trees stop. So next up is level 20 woodcutting, which is willow trees, and it's just Nemract. It's just the Nemract swamps. They're littered everywhere, pretty much just in the Nemract area. Go west to Deathless, you'll get willow trees. That's the only rule. Super easy. All these trees are super easy to get. Now I'm going to show you acacia. So here's where you get acacia. It's just the entire strip right outside of Mailloux. Just the savannah. Even inside of the Mailloux desert, once you get to the little river, is where you're going to find acacia as well. But there's not as much as there is right here, actually. Right outside of Deathless. You can see that I'm at the Black Road, I believe that's what this is called. And would you look at that? There's even oats here. Huh. Now, as for spruce trees, which is level 40, that's the highest I've gotten to so far. That's just completely in the Icelands, in Nessak. Past that, I'm not really sure what the trees are. Once you get to Levagar, there's actually just a ton of oak right outside. So it's kind of confusing because it feels like you're starting over. So as far as woodcutting goes, that's all I know. Now we are going to move on to the final resource gathering, which would be ores. Now while the best ore spots are not completely hard to come by, There's actually not as much as them as I would have thought when I started playing. This is one of them. This is right outside the Emerald Trail. You see the identifier is right there. You can get a couple copper here. There's even some inside. And then you can just run over. It's going to take a little, but this is the easiest that I found. You can run over here. And there's a big vein of it. Over here, there's like 9 pieces right here. In fact, this might actually be where you'd want to stay. It seems like there might be a little more here. Now this is only one spot of 2 that I recommend for copper. The next spot will be near Detless. So here we are, outside of Detless. And this is a little spot where you can get a couple copper. A lot of people are going to like to sit here and mine these. Luckily, because it's client-based, you won't actually have to compete for any materials. But this is probably where most people are going to be mining copper up. For granite, you're going to want to head to the Pigman Ravine. And only the Pigman Ravine, pretty much, because this is my favorite spot to mine granite. As you can see, we have 2 to 3 little nodes spread across these little holes. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6 little holes that you can mine granite in, with about 3 in each. That is a lot of granite. And this isn't even the best spot for it. This is just the best spot to mine back and forth. In these little holes down here, and I'll show you right now, there's granite everywhere. I mean everywhere. Right here. If you can see, there is granite just littered everywhere. Tons of it. All over the place. It is fantastic. The best spot for granite in the game so far. Now, the spot that you're going to want to go is right here. It's not the best for granite at all. I definitely think Pigman's Ravine is better, but you can see there are 2 nodes right there. There's one up there. There's one down there. One there, one there. Back there. And then even back here. Yeah, right here. There's one there too. Again, not the best spot. One of the spots that you can go to, but not the best spot. Now let's move on to gold. The gold spot is right next to this little spot where granite was. It's not my favorite spot to farm gold. It is really good though. You can see there are a ton of gold ore veins right about here and even right down here. This spot is awesome. Not my preferred spot, but it's really awesome. Now, my preferred spot for gold farming is kind of odd. It's not great, but I like it the best just because I can go back and forth. It is this little tiny area right here under the nether portal. So you mine everything that's up here, then you quickly run. It's actually not very quick, I'm going to show you, it's kind of long. But this is just the spot that I came to. So you run, and you drop down right here. And then there's a whole nother area of gold right here. And you pick up all this gold. And then you go right here. And guess what you do? You run all the way back to the other cave. That's my favorite spot for gold. So the next spot is for sandstone. It's a little 2-parter that I like to do again. It's right as you drop down from the Almouge Desert. You can see there's this little lift in the area up right here. So you mine everything in here. There's iron, but you can't get it until you get to level 40. And then you're just going to waltz right on over to this little spot right here, which has about 5 more veins, I think. 5 or 6. You mine them here, then you go back and forth. I don't know if this is the best spot. This is the spot that I used. You can also use the Almouge, you know that pit where the, where there was like scarabs in Almouge Desert? I'll just show it to you. This spot. This big mine right here. Yep. It's pretty good for sandstone. There are a couple caves littered throughout that will give you a decent output of it. I'm not sure if it's the best. Again, I prefer the other spot just because it's much closer. The veins are much closer to each other. But this definitely has more in the overall mass of how many veins are actually inside this little area. As for iron, haven't really seen a lot of it. I have found some pretty good spots, but I'm not going to show you just because I want to keep this for about level 1 to 30. And iron is level 40. So, now we enter the crafting... Are you really doing that right now?
Congratulations, I guess.
So as I was saying, now we enter the crafting part of the video. If you don't know where I am, well, that's because I'm in Debtless, and it's completely reworked. I'm not sure how I feel about it, by the way. I love it, but I also really have nostalgia for the old Debtless. But anyways, I just want to let you guys know that there are items now that do different little things, and pretty much everything that used to be junk or just a miscellaneous item does something special now. There are also a lot of them. Now with all these existing, you can use them to craft certain things. So I'm going to give you an example. So I'm going to show you how you can craft a weapon. You can put rotten flesh in the bar. For certain level items, you can put a certain amount of ingredients. For the first level items, you can only put one. Then I'm going to craft that up. And you can see I have a dagger that has, well, the stats of the rotten flesh. Then you can also go on the reverse and do it with armor. And boom, I have something that gives me walk speed now. Of course, these items are pure trash to me, but you get the point. Now, with a lower level character, you will be able to skyrocket with using ingredients. Here's why. Now, disclaimer, this is what I have observed from playing in the beta. This could not be the actual way that it works. But I notice that if you craft any item with the max amount of ingredients you can put, it gives a lot more experience. So if I were to craft a dagger regularly, it would give me 100 experience, let's say, but if I were to use rotten flesh, just one of them even, it might give me double. It seems to be random in like a range of what you're going to get experience-wise every time you do craft one of these items, but for the most part, actually for all the times pretty much, when you use ingredients, you will get better EXP, which means you will be able to skyrocket in those early levels. And it looks like, this is one of the parts that I'm not sure about, it looks like it doesn't matter what kind of ingredient you use, as long as an ingredient slot is filled, that means you will be getting the extra experience, even for items at, I believe, level 90, but again, not completely sure, I haven't tested that yet. That's just what I've been experiencing. So, for the ingredients that are super good for boosting your levels, you first have rotten flesh. Rotten flesh, super easy to get. I mean, you know how to get it. It's just from pretty much any zombies. Like, probably the easiest obtainable junk item. And it's used for weaponsmithing and woodworking. So, it's used for crafting weapons. If you want to get your weapons up, just gather like 10 stacks of rotten flesh and start crafting. Crafting like a madman or mad woman. Now, next up is going to be wool. And wool is pretty much on the inverse side of rotten flesh, as wool is used for tailoring and armoring. So where you would usually get rotten flesh for weapon making, you take wool for armor making. And wool is really easy to get. I'm going to go show you right now where you can get it. Are you ready? Are you ready? Real easy, guys. I promise. I promise it's really easy. You just go outside of Debtless, and you slap a mob totem right here, and sheep will spawn all over the place. And pretty much every sheep, 99% of the sheep that I've killed have given me wool. I'm not quite sure if it's 100% drop rate, but they give a lot of it. And you can even get pink wool from the regular sheep, very rarely, mind you. The next up is egg. Egg is really easy, super easy to obtain. You kill chickens in the Katoa Ranch, or you obtain it from a vendor near Maltic, I want to say. Pretty sure that's where I saw him. Now, you do have to be level 2 in cooking to use this, but you just craft like 2 meals and then you're there already. Eggs, once again, super easy to get, super low level. I really recommend using these to level up. Next up is going to be strong flesh. Strong flesh is from zombies that are a little bit stronger. I guess that's why it's called strong flesh. It's from mage zombies, from strong zombies, from the goblin scouts, I believe, from the archer zombies, from the assassin zombies. It's just from better zombies. And for the most part, these strong zombies give 100% drop rate on this thing. I'm not sure if it's that, but every time that I've killed one of these stronger zombies, I've gotten strong flesh. Now, strong flesh is a level 3 item, though, but it is good for weaponsmithing and armoring. So weapons and armor, pretty much. Now, it's kind of rare to come by just because these zombies don't spawn all the time, so you won't have a lot of it. But I am saying, if you ever run out of one or the other, you could just slap some strong flesh in there, and it's a good substitute for either. Next up is forest web. Now, forest web is, yes, good for tailoring, and yes, good for woodworking, but where it really shines here for us is in jeweling. This is, I believe, the lowest level crafting item that you can use for jeweling. And it is level 3, but still, you just craft a couple and you're already there. Believe me, it's really quick. Forest web is super, super easy to get, along with the next 2 items that come with it. Forest webs, you just kill the spiders in Nivlia. Oh my god, what did I just call it? Nivla forest. Oh my god, that's correct, isn't it? Yeah, Nivla forest, okay. So yeah, you just get these from the forest spiders in Nivla forest, and they're good for jeweling. Now next is the spider fang, which is a level 5 item, which can also be found very commonly from these spiders. These are the 2 most common items from the spiders. Super, super easy to get. If you slap down a mob totem and just farm for like 10 minutes, you can get a whole stack. Maybe more, even. I'm not sure. Now, spider fang is used for weaponsmithing, but where it shines for us is in alchemy. Pretty sure it's not the lowest alchemy item, but it is the most common. Easiest to get your hands on at a low level. Next up, we have poisonous spider eye. This is more uncommon from the spiders. I've killed maybe 20 and gotten like 3 or 4, so it's pretty uncommon, but it's great for jeweling and alchemism, as well as gives nice poison buff to, you know, make the easier levels go a little quicker. Next up is for scribing. Scribing is... There's no low-level scribing items that I've actually found, so I'm just going to give you the best ones that I can find. It's going to be a bit of a struggle to do scribing. But the first item is called a used fireball, and it's not a rare drop, but it's from a uncommon mob, which is the fire zombie on the Emerald Trail. So yeah, you kill the fire zombie, it may drop this from time to time. It's just good because it's the lowest level scribing item that I've found so far. Level 6. And finally, the last item we have is the Thin Quill, which is obtained from zombie grooks right outside on the Emerald Trail. Strangely, it's level 8, even though the grooks are level 5? But regardless, it's a really common item to come by that's good for scribing, only once you get to level 8, sadly. It's going to take you a while to get up there. That's why I kind of threw in the used fireball, so you could find something to get there beforehand. And so far, that's it for all the common items that I've found. I want to give one last shout out to an amazing item, and that is Bob's Tier. Bob's Tier is good for literally every single thing, and it starts at level 4. Also, you can see I have 7 of them. They're a lot more common now. They're found in chests all over the place. I've had maybe 10 so far, and I've used a couple of them. So what I have now is, you can see that it's also a really great item because it gives a 40% increase to whatever ingredients you put under it. So I will show you how it works real quick, I suppose. I'm just going to give you a little demo. It could be used for any item, mind you. Remember that. So I put the Bob's Tier right here. These 2 item slots are going to be boosted by 40%. Now, the combinations on that are going to be absolute madness. I'm already planning on making a really good weapon. That's what I'm working on weaponsmithing for. That includes these Lucky Rabbit's feet. That gives 20% loot bonus, 20% XP bonus. I use 2 of these and Bob's Tier, and I've got a lot of loot and XP bonus. So yeah, for the most part, that's going to be it for this video. I am going to quickly go over the items required for each of the crafting, and then that's going to be it. So finally, I'm going to show you what materials you're going to need for each of these crafting. For woodworking, you are going to need string and wood. For bows, you're going to want more string than wood, and for wands, you're going to want more wood than string. Man, that is a bit of a tongue twister. Now, for the rings, bracelets, and necklaces, you're just going to need increased oil amounts. The gem will usually stay the same, while the oil amount becomes much, much larger and triples, I believe, each time. Next is tailoring, which is ingots and string. You're going to want more string for boots, and you're going to want more ingots for pants. Then we have armoring, which is ingots and paper. You're going to want more paper for helmets, and you're going to want more ingots for chest pieces. Then we have weapons. You're going to want more wood for spears, and you're going to want more ingots for the daggers. Then we have scribing, which I have done none of. Oh, congratulations to Ming. 101. So you're going to want oil and paper for this. And it looks like you just need an even amount of both. Not completely sure. That's what it looks like. I haven't actually done any testing on that. Now for alchemy, you're going to want oil and grains. And you're going to want more grains than oil. And finally, I hope I'm not leaving anything out, is cooking. Now for cooking, you're going to want meat and grains. You're going to want more meat than grains. So yeah, that's it. That's pretty much everything for this guide. I don't really know what else I can think of. Now, at the end here, I actually do want to give a shout out to Olinus10, who just received his YouTube media rank. Big congratulations to you. And last but not least, I have a message for the Wynncraft developers and creators and just the people who made this server possible. I just want to give a ginormous thank you. I have been playing Wynncraft since I believe 2013 or 14, and ever since then it has been my favorite Minecraft server. Never have I seen a Minecraft game even with such rich lore and just a vast world that I actually want to explore and be in. Now, most games that are like big titles that are RPGs can't even do what Wynncraft has done. And through all the development and all the hardship that they've been through with funding and everything and the UCLA or whatever it was, I just want to say that you will always have my support. Wynncraft, I love you so much, and I just can't wait for you to keep getting better. I've been PhDPS, everyone, and I want to thank you sincerely for watching.